Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with an 11th hour project. Yeah, a lovely lady called Jodi at RJetCreations, who you can find on Instagram and Etsy at that name. Has been doing digitals for a while now, and she's decided she wants a design team. So when she put the call out, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, because I love Jodi's work. Her work is very similar to mine. She's based in Canada. She's someone I've followed on Instagram for years. Well, since I started on Instagram, perhaps about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And yeah, very similar to me in her actual crafting. But she has the talent to do digitals, which I don't. So these are some of the digitals Jodi's designed. Now this kit is called Shakespearean Ladies, and I absolutely love the colours. Yeah, the kits are not huge kits at the moment. Digital designs are a work in progress, but I absolutely love the quality of them. She's very talented, and yeah, she's one to watch. Look at this. I could mix and match this with a lot of other projects. I'm just going to grab my cup of tea. Thank you, darling. Ouch. Just burnt myself grabbing my cup of tea somewhere other than handle. Yeah, I start a video now and I just order a cup of tea from kids. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, I'd use some of these, especially this one. That would go amazingly well in a mermaid journal. Yeah? Look at those. They're lovely. Very versatile. They will mix and match with other things, although today I'm just using Jodi's papers. Yeah, look at that, it's absolutely gorgeous. And look at that one. Yeah, you know I love florals, you know I love pinks, you know I love butterflies. If I could design digital kits, that's the kind of thing I would design, but I can't. So luckily, yeah, Jodi can. So she's also done this background kit. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I've just picked a few out that I think go well with this one. That's just amazing. So much layering in these. We've got faint lines in the background. We've got like a marbling. Then we've got other... Oh, I just love them. Yeah. And again, these will go well with so many other things. And the kits are quite inexpensive. So I'll put all the details in the description. Pop along and have a look at her. She's marvellous. I'm raving so much about her because I have followed her for so long. She's not a huge shop at the moment. She's not some big YouTuber. But she's just someone I came across on Instagram and I thought, yeah, we're on the same wavelength. Her stuff is very similar to mine. And I've took a lot of inspiration from her. So I'm so chuffed to be using her kits. Now this is an 11th hour project because yeah, it's 27th February today, and this is my February design team project. My cat's here meowing. I don't know if you can hear her. I don't know what she wants. It's quite late on today, so I'm thinking she's telling me to go to bed, so she's going to be really out of luck because I'm not going. I'm crafting. So I'm going to do some kind of file folder flippy flappy thing. I've grabbed some music paper and book page. She's still meowing. You'll not see her. She doesn't do jumping up on desks. It's just got this thing. I don't like cat feet anywhere. You know. It's only since she's got older I've allowed her to lay on me in bed. And then I'm really like, she can only lay on a certain place. And then that place gets hoovered. Believe it or not, I'm actually allergic to cats. Can you believe I'm allergic to cats? Sorry about that noise grabbing my big chopper. Yeah, it's not the hair, is it? It's like, it's a dander. I don't know if that's like, is it the dust off them? Yeah, it makes my eyes swell up. Makes me breathing a bit dodgy. I permanently take antihistamines. That's not just for cat though. Yeah, I'm allergic to mosquitoes as well. And believe it or not, I've mentioned this before. I live in a house with a stream. Approximate garden. Well, it's not in my garden, it's over a fence. And yeah, we get quite a few. It gets very low in the summer and it's an ideal breeding ground for mosquitoes, but I love living here. I'm not moving. I have hay fever as well. God, this is turning into hypochondria with Julie, isn't it? So I'll shut up now. So yeah, I take antihistamines, which thankfully mean I can cuddle my kitty cat and still breathe. She's still meowing. She sometimes thinks I'm talking to her. Right, you've just seen me chop this file folder down. All I've done is just chop the edges off to make it look square. I've put my trimmer away and I need to chop it again. I just got waffling, didn't I, about cats and mosquitoes and stuff. Right, I'm going to make this file folder 8 inches high. So I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches that way. And the reason I've done it that way is any of these markings on it will be covered with paper. Yeah. I'm then going to get shut of that chopper because it's cumbersome. And if I do any more choppings, well, I will do more choppings, I'm going to use my little one that fits on my desk much more easily. This is why I need a bigger desk. Less storage, more working space. So, right, I think I'm going to need my centering ruler for this. Now, where it is, I can't reach it properly. I'm going to be very lazy. And there you go, granny grabber. I've just stick cat on head with granny grabber. Oh, I'm so sorry, Phoebe. Right. Let's see how wide this is. It's just a smidgen short of 9.5 inches. But what I want to do, I want to score halfway along this bit. So I'm going to have to make a pencil mark at what halfway is, because it's not going to come at any sort of a usual mark on here. So I'm going to use the centering side of this ruler. And I'm just going to centre it up. So each side at ruler, I'm going to tell you what I'm left with, and then you'll know how far to measure along and put a mark. If you've got the same folder, that is. If you haven't, do your own measurements. So, 4 and just right, it is 4 and just a hair's breadth less. I'm guessing it's not even a 16th, it's a 32th, if that's even a thing, short of 4.5. Oh, hang on. Do I want, yeah, I do want these the same width. So yeah, it's got to be halfway across, which is 4 and a smidgeroony away from 4 3/4. Wouldn't be end at world if one was slightly bigger than other. So where I've put that pencil mark is now where I'm going to score. And I've buried my scoring tool with my trimmer and papers and all sorts. So I'm just going to butt that up to the top, put it on any mark you want and score it. So, there we go. That's scored. So I'm going to fold that over and check I got it right. Somehow I've ended up with one longer than other. Don't know how that's happened. I've measured it and everything, but it's not end of world, is it? Not end of world. So that's going to be one part of my trifold, that's going to be another part, and that will be another part. Yeah, there's a lot of parts here. So do you know what? I want to make a lengthwise pocket there. Yeah, I do. I'm going to make a lengthwise pocket, and I'm going to make it yay big. So we've got that at 4 3/4 ish. I'm going to make this pocket at 3.5, yeah? But I want to put a tab on it as well. I'm going to put a tab on it. So if you're going to put your tab on separately, just cut it at 3.5. If you're going to be doing your tab with your envelope punch board, I'm going to cut it at 4. I'm going to cut it at 4. complicated at all. There we go. And I'm going to grab my envelope punch board, which is also under my desk in my chopper box. Come here, envelope punch board. There we go. Gotcha. I do wish I had enough space to leave all this stuff out, but we don't, do we? And I want like a tab on it at the top. I want the tab at the top. So I'm going to stick that in my envelope punch board. I'm not measuring this. In fact, I'll tell you what I've done it at. I've made that, put the edge now down at 1.5. Yeah, so it's going to give me a tab that big. Yeah. You might be looking at this thinking, what on earth is that woman doing? How does her brain work? Well, you'll see it in a minute. It'll all become clear. So I've cut that long bit off. And now that is going to be a pocket with a tab on. Yay? So that will then fold into there. And then that will fold over. How shall we do it? I don't know. That will fold out. That will fold out. Yeah. That's that. Oh, we could even fold that round, but I've done ones like that before. I need to take a break from doing those. Do I? Do I? Do I really? Have we got enough left to make it fold over? Let's suck it and see. It is a look I really like. I've lost my score tool. Here we go. So, to decide where to crease that, I'm just going to... Ooh, did I want gussets on this? I've totally not even thought about doing gussets, have I? We're gussetless. Yeah, we're not doing a big chunky thick thing, so we don't need gussets. Do you know what? I'm just going to cut that off. I'm not messing putting more flips and flaps on. We don't need it. So I'm just going to butt the crease up. Make sure it's tucked in so I don't cut the crease off. Or cut that off flush. Right, there we go. That's quite simple, isn't it? It's quite simple. I hope I can't give you an headache. Right, so this is what we're now left with after all that messing. That will fold out. We've got a tri-fold with a flap and a tab there. Yeah, I can then put another little pocket on there if I want. That folds into there. That will fold over. Yeah. Or that will fold over and that will fold over. Hey, yeah. Will it? No. It has to go that way and then that way. That's it. That's it. Yeah, you open it like that, that folds out. So yeah, I'm going to have to mark what I want as my front here so I don't forget. So I'm going to grab my pencil and just lightly write front there and an arrow so I know that's the top. Back there with an arrow and the word back, because I'll totally mess it up if I don't do that. Yeah, so I'm liking that. Tiny little trifold, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Listen at me. Ooh, yeah, yeah, like it. Yeah, that's all right, that is. Right, I'm just going to grab my bone folder now and make these creases a little bit more creasy. I'm just flattening them down a bit, that's what I'm doing. Make your creases more creasy, that's classic, that, isn't it? There we go. This will then, I want this to be slim enough to tuck in to somewhere in a mini album, you see, rather than there be a standalone folio. So we've got that done. I'm going to round some corners because I do like the look of rounded corners. As I've said before, you're much less likely to damage rounded corners. I'm going to use my 7mm medium size one. I'm going to round this bottom corner here. And I'm leaving that shapes like that, but I'm just going to come in and do a smidgen. I'm just going to take the point off it. Do it this way. I just want to take the point off it, so again it don't get damaged. I'm loving this doing your own tabs with your envelope punch board at the minute. We're making things that aren't file folders look like file folders, aren't we? Then you can have tabs where you want then, they behave, don't they? So, yeah. Right, pop your punch board away. Put your punch away. Get some of these gorgeous papers out and see where we're going to put them. Ooh, yes. Right, they're obviously, I'm going to attach those to some coffee dyed card, I think. Because I did just print it on paper. So they're going to be our tags that go in. Absolutely lovely. I love them. So I'm going to decide which piece of paper now I want on the front. So I think I want one of the gorgeous Victorian ladies on the front. So I think it may have to be that. I think it may have to be, oh, that. Oh, let's see whether we can make that fit on the front. That's our front. She's going to fit perfectly, isn't she? I know I might waste a bit here, but I should get her on and the butterfly and I'll be a happy bunny. So what I'm going to do next is just cut this piece of paper down. I'm going to cut the white off this edge. I'm not doing any inking on that yet. Cut the white off that edge. Then I can decide the width of the paper. I like to have I like to make my paper 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch less than the width excuse me, of my Folio. Don't know where my other roller's gone, I'll grab another. We know it's 4 3/4 ish, so I'm going to cut the paper at 4 1/2 wide. We know the folio is 8 inch high, so I'm going to cut it at 7 3/4. So I want it 4 1/2 by 7 3/4. So I'll do my width first, then I can get it all done with my little chopper. So that's 4 1/2. I'll cut the white off. Oh, I'm going to measure this. I'm not getting big chopper out. It's not occurring. I do love that butterfly. I'm just going to measure it with a ruler. So you don't need a big chopper. We want it 7 3/4. I think I'm going to take a little bit more off the bottom than I am the top, because I want to leave that flower there pretty much intact. So I'm going to measure this down to 7 3/4, and again pop a little pencil mark. I'm putting a few on to make sure it's nice and make sure I can see it. Yeah, we're still going to get the butterfly in there. Perfect. So line my mark up and cut that down. A little bit more off, woman. Oh, you'd not got it straight, had you, missus? Silly woman, silly woman. That's better. There you go. I still need a bit more off. I'd rather cut not quite enough off than too much though, wouldn't you? So that is going to be the front of our little flippy flappy. Oh, I do like. Look at that. That doesn't need what else doing to it, does it? That's just going to be so gorgeous as it is. Our little Shakespearean woman. So let's come in and get a bit of ink on this and start pulling this project together. Excuse my big pile of rubbish on the side. I try to be tidy and it always goes wrong. I just always end up with this big pile at the side of me. So I'm not rounding these corners, I don't think. No, I'm not. I'm just going to leave them square because this part of the folio is square. So no rounding required. I'm using my Distress Oxide Walnut Stain, which, as you know, is my favourite ink for the edges. So I will come in and ink this now. It does need it. But I'm not just going to sit here and ink the whole thing in one go, because that would bore me to tears. I don't know about you. Inking's kind of thing I normally do while I'm watching YouTube or watching whatever programme I'm watching at the moment. I was moaning in a previous video that I'd been watching Last Tango in Halifax, and I was so sad that it were ending. It's got a couple of my most favourite ever actresses in, Nicola Walker and I can't remember the name of the other one now. Oh no, the blonde one who used to be in Coronation Street in the UK. And I was quite sad, and then I went browsing catch up to see what else I could watch, and hey ho, a series called Unforgotten, which is a series where this detective investigates old cases. Well, not old cases, old crimes that have just come to light, such as a body that's been buried for years and years. Right, I'm doing this with my Kalal, just round edges. Whee. And because this is just thin paper, I'm then going to do it middle with my glue stick. I am. Whee. But you can never get glue stick right to edges, can you, on big pieces? So, anyway, yeah, Unforgotten, starring Nicola Walker of all people. So I was such a happy bunny. So I started watching it. Then I did episode 1. I'm like, yay, let's have episode 2. And it's currently on ITV in the UK. So I can't watch episode 2 yet because it's not on while Monday. And I'm just itching. So I think I might start watching while I'm crafting the first 3 series of Unforgotten. If you've got, is it on BritBox? There's a service called BritBox. I know I mentioned, I once said something to an Etsy customer, and then I messaged back and says, I do apologise if you took that wrong way, it's a bit of a British joke. She said, oh no, I got it straight away, it were absolutely hilarious. And she said her favourite thing to watch at the moment were BritBox. So there you go. If you're not in the UK and you like us Brits and our TV, BritBox, fabulous. I watch it because I don't watch TV. I've said it before, I don't have a TV licence. I'm not paying for a TV licence. Get away with you. So I keep within the rules of not needing a TV licence. I don't watch live TV, and I don't watch anything on the BBC unless it's already purchased by another service, and that's the time it's legal. Right, that's all pressed down. Oh, I absolutely adore that. Really nice. Right, so the front is not having any pockets or anything. That is going to speak for itself. It will get slipped into a project, or as a standalone I will wrap some sari silk or, yeah, what's that other stuff? Seam binding round. Because I like seam binding around my projects. I like to put about 3 or 4 wraps round, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So we've got the front done. The back, that's going to be probably the other half of that piece. Let's have a look, see how that would fit. Will we get the butterfly and the flower? We certainly will. So let's chop that down. What was it again? Was it 4 3/4? Yeah. I could write it down and save myself a lot of trouble. So I'm going to chop at this piece of paper till I get it how I want. I want the butterfly, I want the flower. I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to see if I can get 4 3/4 that encompasses the butterfly and the flower. This project is just working out so well for using the pieces of paper that I want to use. It's luck, this, it's not planning. I think you know that, don't you? Then again, I'm going to chop the white off the top, and then I'm going to measure it to 7 3/4 and then cut it off. Yeah, that'll be spot on. 7 3/4. So yeah, I don't think you need a big chompy chopper. If you've ever got one big cut to make that you can't do with a little one, get a craft knife and a ruler. You can pick craft knives up for, literally, mine was £1.45 from Amazon. I'll show it you. It's a Fiskars. I'm getting quite good at using it now. Fiskars, you can't, that's a brand you can trust. Fiskars, £1.45. It's metal, it's retractable, it's very safe. It's even got a clip there if you were daft enough to clip a craft knife onto you. But it's metal, yeah. Can you just imagine falling down with that clipped on? Yeah. Oh no, not caring. But yeah, really love that craft knife. Cuts through anything, and it's refillable. Right, let's have a look. Why is that wrong? Why? I've cut it at the right width, haven't I? I've not took my 1/4 inch off. Yeah, I've cut it at 4 3/4 when I need to cut it at 4 1/2. You numpty woman. So which end am I going to take 1/2 inch off? Not even 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. That would have been a disaster. I think I'm going to do it off this side where butterfly is. Yeah, we still get to keep our butterfly. So yeah, I've took it off. That's better. And because I've rounded the back of this, I'm just going to round 2 of these corners. Remember, I'm using the 7mm rounder. I always like to use it upside down so I can see if it's in properly. Make sure you tip all the bits out if you've got this same one, or it can cause you some problemos. There we go. More inking. So I'm hoping by seeing me make this, you can see that making some kind of flippy flappy thing is not rocket science. I mean, I do tutorials and give you measurements for how I've made it, but I think if you can see how I worked it out, you could just make one up as you went along. You really could, honestly, you could. And when these are £5 for a box of 50, if it goes wrong, chop it up for tags and try again. That's how I do it. Don't be afraid of crafting. I've spent so long being afraid of getting things right. But it's like I used to say when I taught card making classes, you can never get it wrong, only different. Yeah? I used to do a lot of cross stitch, and the amount of time I spent unpicking because I'd miss one stitch out. And you know, in the grand scheme of things, if I'd just adjusted slightly, you would have never even known. No one's going to look at your cross stitch and count it and say, oh, you missed a stitch there, haven't you? Yeah, it's me an eye. It's not going to happen, is it? And if your file folder doesn't turn out how you originally intended to do it, no one's going to know. Just crack on, have a go. Dive in. Right. Again, I'm going to use my glue stick and my collal. I'm putting collal first, by the way, because it's slower to dry than the glue stick. Because this is just a thin paper on a thick card, I'm not too worried about getting every little inch of the paper covered. No, what's going to happen to it, is it? No, what's going to happen to it? It's going to stay stuck. Your collal will squidge when you pop it on anyway. For anyone who doesn't know or watched me before, collal's just, it's very similar to Fabri-Tac and 3-in-1, but it's a bit cheaper and a bit runnier. Well, a lot cheaper actually. I think it works out about the quarter of the price of Fabri-Tac and 3-in-1. So that's not a bit, is it? That's a lot. Right, let's pop these on. You get a little bit of wiggle room with the collal, and you get a very small amount of wiggle room with this glue stick. That's good enough. Oh, I'm liking. I'm glad I chose this file folder as well. I was going to use green, But there's a lot of like turquoisey greens in this, and I didn't think it went so well. So I'm really happy I went with this blush craft colour, as Tanya calls it, blush. I like to do lots of little, instead of one big one that can like move your paper when your glue's still damp. Lots of little bits of smoothing down, increasing pressure as I go. So there we have it. That is the outside of our flippy flappy thing. Oh, I'm liking. Now inside I'm going to want a couple of little pockets. Nothing too involved, because then it will have implications on closing this thing. So we know that's going to be a pocket, so I want to put some paper there. Now I'm wondering if any of the bits I've cut off will fit. I don't think they will. I don't think I've cut any wide enough bits off. I haven't. So I think I'm going to use one of these. Yeah, because I want a little bit of a relief from that lovely gorgeous blue paper. So yeah, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut my white off. I picked this lovely one that looks like marbly. I'm going to measure that gap, and I want to measure a little bit further in so that when you put something in the pocket you don't see the end of the paper. So that wants to be, I'm going to say 1 3/4 inches, yeah? So I'm going to cut a piece of paper off at 1 3/4 inches. I like this little chopper as well, because this Fiskars one, Tonic, sorry, it has marks every 1/4 inch. So to cut this at 1 3/4, it's so much easier when you can line it up on that 1/4 inch mark. Did I say 1 3/4 or 2 3/4? What did I say? Yeah, it's definitely 1 3/4. I was just worried I weren't going to cut enough off then. So 1 3/4. I'm going to cut my top off. I'm going to measure where 7 3/4 is. Mark it with my pencil. Oops. Mark that in the wrong place first. I'll rub it off with my rubber. You could, if you're confident cutting with scissors, do this bit with scissors. I'm not. I'd end up cutting it down. In fact, yeah, one of my subscribers, I think it was Sally, she mentioned in a comment about the credit card or plastic card being a good way to cut down your tags to shape, because she says she keeps nibbling one end then another and she just ends up with no tag left. Yeah, weren't my idea that, Sally. I've no idea who I saw that do that first, but it's just it's one I've picked up from watching other YouTubers, and it's a fabulous idea. I agree with you. Saves so much time. I wish I'd known about that before I bought my corner chomper that cuts the corner off like that, because then you only get one size, don't you? But like I said, I used that loads in my mini album days. Now this one, because it's only a small piece of paper, I'm not going to bother with collal. I'm just going to use this glue stick. It's the Elmers Xtreme one. I seem not to have any problems with it. I've heard a few people now say they don't like it. It peels after a while. I've been using it about 6 months and I've not had it peeling off yet, but we shall see. I do like to make sure I get enough on. Every little bit covered. I don't press too hard. You can see when it's got glue on. You can't see on camera, but I can see. It's like there's no shine where there's no glue. And make sure I get it really well around the edges. So I'm going to pop this here. Let's be a bit lower. See what I mean as well? You get a little bit of wiggle time, but not a lot. Again, I don't worry so much these days about every little thing being perfect. It's a junk journal. There we go. It's not the International Space Station. We really don't need everything to be measured within yeah, a millionth of a 16th of its life. Oh look, I like that. Right, I'm going to come in and use a bit more ink now before I start gluing stuff, because it's much easier if you ink it first than after you've stuck it together. You know, this has turned out quite similar to that other trifold I did, didn't it, from an A4 sheet, but just a bit bigger, with an extra bit stuck on. Yeah, the file folders give you that advantage of when you cut one in half and open it up, it's much wider than a 12 by 12 piece of card. I think your only other alternative would be to buy huge A3 sheets, and then I don't know about you, but yeah, you'd need a very big chopper to do that, wouldn't you? Right, that's that. So I'm going to come in and glue that down now, because I want to. I'm going to use my Cosmic Shimmer. I had trouble getting my pin in and it bent, so I'm not holding out great hope for this coming out straight away. Oh, it has done. Weird. I'll never understand glue as long as I live. Never. So I'm just putting a thin line along there, and I'm going to put a thin line along the top, just to hold that down. Then the next thing I'm going to mat with paper is this one. I'm conscious this tutorial is a long one, but I'm just going to keep going. You can either watch it or not. I always say that. I don't mean it in like, watch me or don't. I mean like, yeah, it's... I know some people are complete beginners and you might want to see how the whole thing is done, and then other people are, yeah, much more experienced, and you might just have wanted to see the beginning where I decided how to make the file folder. That goes there and that goes there. I will remember that. So yeah. Or some people might just want to listen to me in the background while they're crafting. You just don't know, do you? So, happy with that. I'm going to put some paper on there, and I'm going to put a pocket across there. Yeah, I am. So I'm going to go to the... Let's pile my papers up nice and neat. Let's do a Tania. Tidy up. I'm so messy. I really am messy. I'm never going to use these really thin bits, so collect them up now, woman. Put them in the bin. You've got lots of bits of paper, you don't need any more. Bye bye. Right, that's all nice and neat. So I need the spare bits of the file folder now. Where have I put them? There it is. This is the bit that I cut off. So with this I want to make a pocket here. Put your lid on your ink before you end up going everywhere. Do you know I'm not using walnut stain today? I'm using my vintage photo oxide. I mixed them up after doing some inking in the previous video, and I do quite like it with these papers. It matches the tone in the papers, so that were a happy accident. Right, let's think where else I'm going to want pockets now. I'm going to want one there. I'm going to want one there. Don't know what I'm going to put there. I think I might put a belly band there. Yeah. No, that's going to be a belly band. So you can either have a little thin notebook in it, or you can have just anything in a journal card. That's going to be a pocket, yes. That's the way to go. Pocket, belly band. Yeah. Pocket, pocket, belly band. Yeah. That'll look nicer. Now this pocket, I think I'm going to do a corner pocket. Yeah. Because I do the straight across ones a lot, and I'm just feeling like doing something different. So let's measure that. It is 4 3/4 inches. It's still 4 3/4 inches, just like it has been the last 26 times I've measured it. So I want my pocket to be up there a bit, and I want it to come down there a bit. So it wants to be about 4.5 inches high and about 4¼ inches wide. So that's what I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut a piece 4½ inches high and 4¼ inches wide. Cat's here again. So I'm going to make it 4¾ inches high because I can, and 4¼ inches wide. Right, there we go. So that's going to be a pocket there, but I want it curved. I really do. So I've got a really high-tech way of doing that. I have this tin that I keep. I've got a cat here now. Right, if you've seen my craft room, you now see my problem. I can't roll on my chair because cat's behind me. Yeah? I'll probably kill the cat. Cat, you can't be here when I'm on video. Oh, she's feeling very left out. So I'm looking around my craft room for something circular because I can't wheel back to get up to grab the circular thing I was going to use. So I'm just looking. Something circular. She's just had her paper trimmer fall on her head. I think she's gone now. Have you? No, that didn't scare her. Haha, here we go. Something circular. This is about the same size as what I was going to use. This is a basket and it's circular. All the paper that were in basket is all up. Floor? Oh, never. I shouldn't really be advertising him, should I? Keith Lemon doing crafting. What's that all about? Yeah? I think I might be a female Keith Lemon. If he can do it, anyone can do it. Come on, people. Keith Lemon can craft. Anyone can craft. If you're in the US, you might not know who Keith Lemon is. He's a comedian. He's so good. I love him. I think he's originally from Leeds. So, can you see, I've just drawn around this. You know, I always say if you don't have the punch, draw around a circle. I'm not saying it because I think it sounded good. I'm saying it because it's a blooming good idea. And I do it. So I'm now going to cut around that. I go pretty slow because when I'm cutting something circular or curved, if I go too fast, it just goes belly up. It just doesn't work and it looks a mess. So this is the slowest cutting you've probably ever seen. Don't adjust your cameras. We are not in slow motion. This is how slow I'm cutting. Because I want to get this looking right. There you go. Me like it. Me like it. I've got a little bit there that's not quite curved. The little noggin wants to come off. So I've still got that perfectionist in me. I try and, you know, suppress her. Junk journaling has helped me a lot with that, but she's still there. She screams to come out sometimes. Right, I'm now just going to rub the pencil off the edge. You won't really see it when I've inked it anyway. I'm going to ink this up and then I'll decide what paper I want to use and where I want to cut it. And I'm going to need one the full height, aren't I, because this pocket is not the full width. Yeah, and I'm going to need to cut that off, aren't I, with my corner punch. 7mm one. I'm reminding myself as much as telling you, you know. So that will then glue there and be a pocket. And I think what will fit on there nicely is one of those slot dies so you can pop little tickets and bits and bobs in. I think that'll look good. Yeah. And there we're going to have a belly band, so that's going to be a beautiful paper with a belly band. Yeah. I may make the belly band out of this card, I may not. Not decided yet. We've not got that far. So I think I'm going to split this up into two. I'm going to make the actual folder base. We'll crack on with that. And then I'll just come back and do some little extra decorations on it. Because it's going to go on for like 3 days. Right, let's pick some papers. I think I'm still wanting these more. I just love this one. I think I'm going to put that underneath, and then I'll put some of the Shakespearean Ladies paper on there. So yeah. Do you know what I'm also going to do with this now? I think I'm just going to grab my big chopper and cut it down to 8 inches. So I don't have to keep measuring each single one. So cut the white off, and I'll make this 8 inches, 7 3/4 inches high. There you go. So then I just have to bother about cutting the width on things. So that's still 4 3/4 wide, unless someone changed it while I weren't looking. So I'm going to make this 4 1/2 inches wide again. And do you know what? I'm going to do the one for the middle pocket while I'm at it. I might not use this pattern, but I might not. So it's done if I want to, not if I don't. I tend to like the backgrounds of my things to be quite plain, and the embellishments to be the more fancy things. Fancy lady. So yeah, that's gonna go there, that's gonna go there. Yeah, that's gonna be it. We want 2 of those corners rounded. Make sure those bits are out. Yeah, I'm quite liking this Distress Oxide vintage photo on this. It goes really well with this blush. That really is a happy accident, you know, because I did intend to use my... Yeah, I did. I did intend to use my walnut stain, and I just got the wrong one. Yeah, so the crafting gods intervened and said, thou shalt use vintage photo, not walnut stain. And I'm so thankful that they did. I'll say a prayer to those tonight. Whee. I don't know why I urge to say wee when I'm crafting. No idea, wee. I know I would think I were sludging down a hill, wouldn't they? No, I'm just inking paper. Whee! Are you on a roller coaster? No, I'm just inking paper. There we go. So, let's get some... I'll move it out of the way so I don't have any accidents. Get some of my craft lunch. Do love those, don't you? It's because everything gets piled on those baskets at the side, and I can only hold so much stuff if it all starts sliding on me. But I am very good, and I do have a good tidy up. I like to try and do it before I go to bed every night, so I get up to a nice clean tidy craft room. I don't do it every night. Sometimes it just don't work out that way, does it? And then get the Elmers Xtreme round the middle. I could use my ATG gun, but I think that's like using a sledgehammer to kill a fly, isn't it, when I'm sticking on such thin paper. Oh, what a comment that one of my subscribers made me laugh. Yeah, in my last video I was on about elephants. Yeah, I was rambling on about these elephants and Olympic Games and this, that and other, and yeah, kids were making these elephants had something to do with Olympic Games. What it was a craft project. No, it was an art project that were undertaken in Sheffield in 2016 to raise money for Sheffield Children's Hospital. And Zoe, who is RJetCreations over on Instagram, remembered that when I didn't, but she's also in Sheffield, so yeah, thank you for that, Zoe. Just moving this a lot over slightly because I didn't quite get it centered. So yeah, thank you. And she came out with this marvellous saying that I've not heard before. And so she's like, yeah, you were in right desert, wrong tent. And it just tickled me. Right desert, wrong tent. Not heard that before at all, ever. I'm just looking for my glue rubber. Don't know where I've put it. It's out somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Because if there's too much squidges out, I just do it with my glue rubber rather than my finger. Because it all gets a little bit messy. We're having to slide that along to centre it. I've ended up with more glue than I wanted. Oh, I've gone and got ink on that. Silly woman. So yeah, that's quite good enough. Let's move it down. So yeah, in 2016 there was an art project, and what happened was 70, I think it was 70 local artists, I don't know if it could have been local, were given a fiberglass elephant that was 1.5 meters tall to, yeah, decorate. Is decorate a crafting word? And these were all spread out around Sheffield, and you could go on an elephant hunt. It was like safari in Sheffield, weren't it? It were called the Sheffield's Herd of Sheffield. But then in addition to that, I'll tell you this while I'm inking, because inking's boring. In addition to that, I think it was another about 50, 60 of these elephants, slightly smaller. I think they were about 1 metre, I seem to remember, were given to local schools. That was it. And the school my children were at, they received an elephant to decorate, and each class did a little bit on it, and this elephant went round all the classes in the school. And the reason I got onto it was I were in my gem tub and I got loads of gems and loads of bits with only a few left on, and it was because I'd taken them all into school. I'd bought a load of gems to take into school. So I were helping out in year 2 at the time. Yes, that was it. My kids were 10-year-old. They were in year 5 or 6. And they were doing their part of the elephant in gems. I've lost my piece of paper. There it is. They did Meadowhall Shopping Centre, which is a big shopping centre in Sheffield. And they did the roof of it in all these gems. Because at night, Meadowhall has just got loads of lights on it. So yeah, that's how I got onto the subject. But my memory was playing tricks on me, and I thought it had something to do with Olympic Games. It had nothing whatsoever to do with Olympic Games. It just happened to have taken place in the same year as the Olympic Games. So yeah, that's what it were. I'm sure one of my kids is behind me laughing. They take advantage of my bad memory, they really do. I forget to ground them, I forget to punish them and all sorts. They're like, Mum, can I have a £5? Here you go, love. They could tell me next day, Mum, can I have that £5 you promised me? I'd be like, oh, I haven't get it here yet. They'd be like, no, Mum, here, have another £5. I'm lying, actually, they don't do that to me with money. But they could if they wanted to, so I'm quite lucky that they're not like that, aren't I? Yeah, I can hear creaking stairs, kids chuckling and sniggering, cats meowing. You wouldn't know it when nearly midnight, would you? My house is more active near midnight than it is at 9 o'clock in the morning when school's supposed to be starting. This child might want something, but she knows I'm videoing, so she's not saying anything. I've done really rubbish lining these up this time. There's more laughing and giggling going on. I don't know what they want. I've just done that so rubbish it just doesn't even bear thinking about. Can't multitask. I got too into me talking and my crafting went a bit belly up. Just got a dry baby wipe now to help smooth that. Yeah, that'll do. They've disappeared into another room now, giggling. Don't know what it's all about. Right, there we go. There's 2 of them giggling now. probably like, what is my mother on about? She's talking about absolute rubbish on YouTube and people are going to see it. Right, there you go. I've told them, just tell people I'm your batty old grandma. I am of an age when I had my children where it has been assumed more than once that I'm the grandmother and not the mother. And you know, when they were really embarrassing as youngsters, I used to play along with it. Yeah. Young'uns, they just don't bring kids up these days like they used to, do they? What can I do with them? I'm only the grandmother. Right, so that's then going to go on there. No, I really want to disown my kids these days. Very proud of them lately. I've had a really long nana nap today. I'm talking 5 hours. And yeah, my eldest twin Rebecca made our tea, which is dinner to posh people and people in other countries. No, to be honest, I think you call it dinner in the south, don't you? But it's still posh northerners that call it dinner. It's tea up here, tea. Breakfast, dinner and tea we have. Not lunch and tea. Yes, she made that for us. The younger one's done all the washing up. I hope she's hearing me, because when I came upstairs the younger one hadn't actually done all the washing up. The washing up was left for the younger one, and I've just heard creaking stairs. That could be someone dashing downstairs to do washing up. See, I'm very proud of her doing out washing up. Very proud. Right, that is now the inside of our little trifold. So that goes there. That goes there. And it's still quite a nice slim profile. So, oh, we've got one more to decorate. I don't know what I'm putting on there. Might have to have a think about that one. I really might. I think it's got to match that, hasn't it, for when you open it. So let's get the papers out again. I'm going to do this one and then I think I will say goodbye, and I'll come back with another video where I decorate some things to go in it. So is that going to have to be that other Shakespearean lady? Or do we want some flowers? Do you know, I think I might end up printing the same piece out again, because I love it. No, I've got another piece with a lady on. We need the lady. Where are you, lady? Hey, lady. That reminds me of the first time I ever went to London, that. Believe it, well, it weren't first time. First time I went without my parents. And, yeah. I really upset some foreigners. I don't know where they came from. But I'm assuming they're from some country where you're not allowed to cross road without the green light being on. So, yeah, traffic's at a standstill. We're at this crossing. There must be like 50 people waiting to cross road. And it's like, yeah, no hour at front, nobody's going. Traffic just weren't moving. No bikes coming between cars, no nothing. Because I was a driving instructor, I looked for all these things. I was like late 20s. And yeah, I started crossing. And then there's all this group of people shouting at me. Hey, crazy lady, come back. Crazy lady. So yeah, sorry. So I bobbed across road. I even remember what I was doing. I was going into a shop to buy a London bus shaped tin for a friend who wanted it. Oh yeah, that bit looks lovely there. It's not from the same sheet, but it just goes lovely. So I'm going to have to cut this down to 8 3/4. This one's going to get done with my ruler. Yeah, I think that today's just turned into a craft with me and a chat, hasn't it? Me rambling. I think this is a symptom of this new lockdown. Yeah, not seeing real people. No, there's no real people to talk to, so I'll tell you all my problems. Yeah, do you know, it could say starting a YouTube channel could save you a fortune in counselling and therapy. So yeah, that bit's going to go there. That needs cutting down a bit. Yeah, I've made that a little bit too long. I've perhaps not gone right up to my pencil mark. Yeah, I haven't, because I can still see pencil mark. Cut that down a smidgen. I'm just going to have a sip of that cup of tea that we brought, because I've not had much of it yet. Yeah, if I do make this 2 parts, well, I am making it 2 parts, I'm going to put both parts up on the same day. I'll put one up in the morning and one in the evening. Or one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And then the 11th hour project is completed. I do hope you like what I've done with it, Jodi, if you're watching. It's another, do you know, I said this about some papers, when they're too nice, I don't want to cut them up and do anything with them other than a project that shows off the paper. So that's what I've done with these. Yeah, do you know when you get a kit and it's full of filler bits that aren't right thrilling? I don't have a trouble using them. I'll cut them up and do all sorts with them. But if I like the paper a lot, I don't like ripping it up or cutting it. And if I do cut it, it's a bit like when you have a really nice book page. I want to use every scrap of it. Whee. And it's as though I could never print it out again. I can print it out again. So I really don't see what my issue is. Right, let's get some glue on. Whee. I think when I glued last couple on, I had better issue straightening it, because I was taking too long, weren't I? Gluing it, so my glue stick was starting to dry before I got it to paper. So this one hopefully is going to go a little bit better. Oh, I can't turn, I'll turn the book upside down because I've picked paper up upside down. I'll start at the top, make that bit look nice. Got my wiggle room. Yeah, I was just too busy talking last time, weren't I? I made a bit of a mess of it. There you go. Concentrate goes much better. Get the little bits of collal that have squeezed out at the sides. Oh, and I've not inked the back of this yet. Smooth this down. Really happy with this. Really like it. But you can do this with any paper. You can even do it with pieces of A4 paper. I don't have I done one where I've showed you how to join them. I just tend to join my 2 pieces of A4 paper at a crease like this. Just overlap it a bit. No one knows. So let's ink that back page. And then I'm going to leave it there for this one. I need a fresh cup of tea because that one's gone a bit cold. I need to stretch my legs because I've been sat down for about an hour. And I will come back and finish this in the morning. Because time's really ticking on here today. So I'll finish it in the morning, then I can get it up in the afternoon or, like I said, the early evening. I tend to put my videos up. So there we have it. Little file folder. I've not put paper on them because I don't quite know what else is going on them yet. Love that. I'd really love this. Well, that way, then that way, that's it. And yeah, really like it. So that's my design team project started for Jodi Livingston at RJetCreations. And I'll put Jodi's links in the description so you can pop along and see what papers she's got. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.